The Duchess of Desperation is now looking for a second chance. After Meghan and Harry were made fun of on yet another American cartoon, this time Family Guy, Meghan told her PR people they better get busy creating some new puff pieces to try to distract from the lampooning. And here is Page 6 ready to help. So they are reporting that Meghan Markle is thrilled about being on the verge of landing her first major deal since parting ways with Spotify, according to a new report. A source told Closer UK through the Mirror, the source is probably Meghan herself, but anyway, the source said that the new venture has the power to make or break her Hollywood dream. Word of mouth, according to this source, word of mouth is spreading that it will lead to a huge payout, even bigger than the million Spotify splashed out. Alright, Meghan and Scooby-Doo, who do you think you're fooling with this? I mean, even bigger than the million Spotify splashed out? Well, last we checked, Spotify called the two of you grifters and wanted nothing to do with you. As for the millions they splashed out, I'm sure they regret every penny of that. And now they're trying to convince us that Meghan's about to sign on with Audible. Okay, yeah, do go on. This source is suggesting that the rumored deal on the table is a lucrative one, saying, and Meghan is thrilled that she'll be in the company of Michelle and Barack Obama, who signed a deal with Audible in 2022. So it looks like Meghan still has not given up on stalking poor Michelle Obama. I mean, how pathetic. Meghan's obsession with Michelle Obama at this point is just creepy. When is she going to take the hint that they don't like her? The source also reported Meghan seems very confident at the moment, but the reality is that she's been in a pretty desperate spot. Losing the Spotify deal was a massive blow to her, not to mention her ego. She's been pretty lost since, but this deal could turn everything around. We do keep hearing about how Meghan is about to turn everything around for herself. We keep hearing she's about to start this new online business venture. We keep hearing about that she's about to restart her acting career and is going to be better than ever. I mean, what is wrong with them? Do they not understand that doing something is not the same thing as talking about it? And let's talk about why Meghan lost that Spotify deal. I mean, they act like she just woke up one day and she was informed that she lost the deal, even though she was doing such great work for them. No, that's not what happened at all. First of all, they couldn't produce anything. That was the biggest problem. I mean, for 2 years they had that deal and they only produced that one 30-minute Christmas episode? And then came Archetypes. Archetypes was obviously the product of Spotify telling Meghan and Harry that if they didn't come up with something immediately, that deal was going to be over. So that's when Meghan comes up with this Archetypes series. First of all, the name Archetypes didn't make any sense. The show was all about stereotypes. Second problem was that Meghan didn't allow anybody to speak other than herself. I mean, she had these guests who were actually pretty interesting women, and she claimed that she was going to talk about their experiences as women, but in fact, she just talked over them the entire time, and we didn't get to hear their stories at all. The first episode did pretty well because people listened out of morbid curiosity. The first few episodes did okay in terms of numbers, but after that, of course, people stopped listening because it was boring. It just wasn't a good show. Meghan thought that having her name attached to it was enough to make it a success, but as usual, she was wrong. One of Meghan's biggest problems is that she overestimates her importance and her talent. She believes that just doing the bare minimum is enough because it's her, but that's not the case. Honestly, that's not the case for anybody. There is a lot of competition out there in terms of podcast series. So who's going to listen to this whiny duchess just talk about herself and her problems with the royal family? Problems that are not that impressive in the first place, and problems that we've already heard her talk about ad nauseum. Now, this insider also claims that Meghan feels ready to work with Audible, but added that it doesn't mean this isn't seriously daunting. Well, yeah, it should be daunting. I mean, she ruined the last deal for herself, which was a pretty sweet deal because she wasn't willing to put in any work. So how is this going to be any different? So the insider, aka Scooby-Doo, also said she hardly sleeps thanks to the pressure of it all, but knows that the pressure will only get worse if she lands the deal. It will be make or break. Meghan, honey, you're already broken. Why can't you accept that fact? How does she think that this is going to be the deal that's going to make her or break her? Meghan has been given so many chances. I mean, just think about it. The podcast series, the deal they got with Netflix, the voiceover even that she did for Disney and messed up. The thing is, anytime anybody offers Meghan some work, she screws it up. And so companies don't want to offer her work anymore. I can't blame them for that. I also find it very hard to feel sorry for Meghan. She can't sleep at night. She's just so worried about this. Well, Meghan, maybe you should have thought of that before you made a living off trashing Harry's family. I know the money was good there for a little while, but of course, that source of income was going to dry up eventually, and she didn't have a backup plan. I think the entire time her plan has been to just be her amazing self, and that's going to be more than enough to keep the cash rolling in. Well, clearly that plan was not based in reality. Having all those failures under her belt is certainly not going to help her either. The insider goes on to say Hollywood's power brokers will be aware of just how Markle and Prince Harry fumbled on the Spotify deal, so they fear that getting dropped twice would be the end of their brand, as nobody would trust they could deliver the content. The stakes are extremely high. Well, of course, the stakes are high. Harry and Meghan were incredibly lucky to land all those lucrative deals. I mean, those deals were worth a lot of money. And back when they signed those deals, nobody knew what Harry and Meghan could do. These companies were just assuming they would be worth it. Well, then they found out that the two of them don't want to do any real work and they're not talented. So now it looks like Meghan and Harry and these corporations are all learning at the same time that having a Duke and Duchess title is not going to be enough to make people listen to or watch what you're putting out. Their problem is that they don't have anything interesting to say. The Duke and Duchess title are not enough to save them from this. Luckily, Page Six did talk to Audible, and according to Page Six, an Audible spokesperson told Page Six Thursday that there is no truth to the report and they aren't in negotiations with Markle. Well, then I guess that settles that. But the question still remains, why even bother? I mean, is this the work of WME? This is the work of one of the greatest talent agencies out there? I mean, is this what makes them the best, putting out these ridiculous puff pieces that are easily refuted? That's what they're being paid the big bucks for, really? Or is this just what they have to do with Duchess Difficult because they can't find any real work for her? Of course, I don't know the answer, but I am excited to watch and see what happens with this relationship between WME and Meghan Markle. Now, reportedly, they may be parting ways in the spring, and what is she going to do then? I mean, seriously, at this point, what PR agency or talent agency will have her? Or will Meghan just start doing all her own PR with Scooby-Doo as her only mouthpiece? I don't know, but unfortunately, I'm afraid we're not any closer to getting rid of her. And you, what do you think about Meghan's next career move? Please let me know your opinion below in the comments section. As always, please like and share this video with anybody else who would enjoy it. And before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss a single video from Kate Middleton and the Queen. Thank you so much for tuning in. You have a lovely day, and I'll be back to see you in the next videos.